I started out breaking my ankle out in my driveway one day. I broke my ankle, needed multiple surgeries. I became homeless because I couldn't pay my rent for a year and a half. I wound up in a tent with the dog, needed a surgery, went to the vet. Vet said that it was going to cost about $3,000. Santos was a friend of the vet tech that worked there, and she gave me glowing reviews about him. Supposedly he seemed like he was on the up and up. She showed me other pictures of other animals that he supposedly had these GoFundMes for. So I was in a desperate situation. I was living in a tent, didn't have the money to get the dog taken care of myself, so I was ready for the help.
And you were living with Sapphire in the tent.
Yes. While we were living there, the tumor, or the lipoma it was called, was growing at an exponential rate. It was getting huge. But it only took about 2 to 3 months to raise the money. A friend brought me up to Santos's veterinarian that he recommended, that he actually insisted that I use. He wouldn't let me use my veterinarian. He created problems with another local veterinarian saying that they would not accept his payment form or something along those lines. He was supposed to, he told me in a text message, or maybe it was on the phone, he was going to pay me back for the trip to Long Island to bring the dog up to his veterinarian. He was going to pay me for gas, lunch, tolls. I was even gullible enough to give him my bank account routing number and my bank account number, because he said he was going to directly put that money for the trip right into my account. That never happened.
Never happened.
Never happened. And that was the first sniff that I got.
You said you were gullible, but he never took funds out of your account, right? No.
Not at that point. No. No, he never took anything from me.
Never took anything
not out of my account, but
did you ever see a cent?
Never. No. At that point, I started getting frustrated. I knew that I wasn't going to be getting any money out of this guy. So I irked him a little bit when I told him that I didn't think that he was legitimate, and then I thought he was, like you mentioned before, mining my dog and my friends and family's hearts for their money. That was the most offensive thing he'd ever heard. I'm a scumbag, this and that and the other thing, and that was where it just all fell through. That was the breaking point where I believe he created the breaking point. He wanted me to get mad at him and storm off and give up on it. And it just evolved from there. He wouldn't answer the calls anymore, and that was when I asked Michael to get involved. He'd already helped me out with a bunch of other veteran stuff. He'd gotten me a bicycle. He'd got me, I think, a computer and a few other things. It's stuff I didn't even ask for. He helps me with. And he talked to him. Michael talked to him as well. And Michael runs a charity. One charity head to another charity head. He figured he could help me out. He could get it worked out for me.
I'm going to get Michael bringing in, but I just said this is Sapphire.
This
Sapphire
is
eventually
Sapphire,
died, and
yes.
that's Sapphire's ashes that you brought into the studio. Listen, let me read this, because George Santos refuted the claim. This is what he told me, okay? He says, I have no clue what he is talking about, and the crazy part is that anyone that knows me knows that I'd go to hell and back for a dog, and especially a veteran.
Well, then go to hell. He said, go to hell, and he'd go to hell and back. Well, then go to hell, George.
Is that your sentiment?
Yeah.
He goes on to say, so this is just more of a pile-on effect. I have dozens of people reaching out to me in support, sharing their stories about their dogs and cats that I help save and rescue. What's your response to that?
I don't believe any of it. I don't believe anything that he said about that. I think any other animal that he had up on his website or whatever probably suffered the same fate as my dog did.
Go on, Michael. So you stepped in to help him out.
I honestly thought that...
Well, first of all, let me ask you, what do you think of George's response? And then I'll ask you how you got it.
I mean, just because he helps a few people doesn't mean that he can't be doing this to others. Mm-hmm. It's not the first time someone has pulled fraud and hurt our veteran community.
So you believe it's fraud?
I know it's fraud, yeah.
Why?
It's horrible. I spoke to him. I honestly thought this was a mistake. I was so shocked, because working as a charity and calling another charity, you never really have these kind of problems. So I told Rich to calm down and relax, because I've been working with Rich as his mentor and peer support and just getting him through this, and I really thought it was a mistake. I thought it was just a minor mishap, and I called Anthony Devolder, a.k.a. George Santos, and I said to him, hey, this is probably a mistake, misunderstanding, and he was not going to help out at all. And I said to him, you have two options. I think that would be a really good idea, to give the money back to all the people who donated, or give the money to a veterinarian in Rich's area. He could use that for a fund with his future dogs and help him pay medical bills.
And
there was no compromising with this gentleman. And it was hurtful.
Rich, when did you realize, because you knew him as Anthony Devolder, when did you realize that George Santos and Anthony Devolder were one in the same?
Last week.
So you just put it together last week?
I started seeing him around Christmas time on TV because I was Facebook friends with him at the time this fundraiser was going on. I'd seen an earlier picture of him, probably when he was in his early 20s or something like that. And he's gained a lot of weight now, so he was not very recognizable, and he was going by George Santos. I had a feeling I knew him. I knew that he had done something. I didn't know if he gave me the finger in traffic one day or something, but I knew he did something to me and crossed me in my past. And it wasn't until last week that a reporter asked him on TV, "Are you George Santos or Anthony Devolder today?" Oh, my God, now I know who he is, where he's at, and how did he rise to where he's at right now.
It clicked.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
What do you think of the lies about 9/11 and his mom? And
it's horrible. How do you lie about that? How do you lie about being Jewish? How do you lie? I mean, he stole money from another dying old man, too, in Brazil. I mean, this guy, he doesn't deserve to be where he's at. He doesn't deserve a government pension. I'm a very personal, private person. I don't have very many friends. I stay at home with my dogs for the most amount of time. I don't want to be out here doing this. I don't like the media attention. I don't like my phone blowing up and stuff. But when I saw him on the news as Anthony Devolder, and I put two and two together, it ripped the scab off, and it felt like my dog died yesterday. It hurt me that much all over again.
Have you tried to reach out to him, Vince?
No.
Have you tried to reach out?
No, there was no reason for it.
What would you say to him if he was here now? What would you say to him?
Do you have a heart? Do you have a soul? He probably would lie about that. I mean, I don't want you to ever hurt anybody like you hurt me again, George. And nobody else should ever have to go through that. I almost killed myself when that dog died. That's why I'm here. I don't want him to be able to do this again.
What do you want to happen?
You know, one thing about working in the charity is, thank God, we have people that care. We expect nothing to come out of this from Santos, but I know that America has people here that love veterans, and they've already reached out to us and offered to help. So I'm happy to know that there's people out there that really see the good that we do and really want to show love to our veterans and help them. So I see the good out of this.
Santos really took a piece of my heart when he did this. My opinion of humanity was very, very extremely diminished, crashed into the floor. And the outpouring I've seen over the last 2 days from people commenting on my story online, especially on Facebook and YouTube, everybody that is positive about this. I've not seen a single troll. People want to give me money. They want to give me another service dog. They want to help me with dog food and stuff like that. And they have really brought me back up with my value and my insight in humanity again. George wrecked it with these people, with their hearts and what they've been offering to me. I trust people again.
Were you able to pay the bills and all of that?
I had to panhandle to have the dog euthanized and cremated.